Dr. Martha Razzo also. So I didn't put all the speakers up because I can only put 10 slides up at a time. So while we talk, I'm going to bring some other ones up. So, what are your thoughts on all these incredible and powerful speakers who are going to be joining us, people?
Well, for me, first of all, they're so diverse, just in terms of their expertise. And so you're not just getting one type of person in the room, you're getting people from all different walks of life who have all different kind of experiences. And then we're all connecting together and blending as one. And I think
Mm.
that, so you can learn and feed from so many different people, which makes that such a special thing because everybody's not a basic entrepreneur. You have coaches that are in the room. You have entertainers like Monique and myself that'll be in the room. We have ex-Marines like T.O. We have the president of the CLA. You know what I mean? We have, a master in Kung Fu and Sifu and just a host of other people that are going to be there with one thing in mind, and that's to connect with one another. So I think that's powerful.
I think that when you talk about the diversity of all the speakers, that's you're talking New York City, right? New York City's so diverse that we couldn't
Yes.
bring just one kind of speaker, right? And if you think about the world overall is very diverse. I mean, people speak all different languages. I think Lancelot and I were walking along New York City, and we saw people. When we were approached, I was listening, right? And we were walking towards them, and I'm expecting them to be speaking English, and it was a different language. And then the next group was a different language, and then the other people were different, like
Yeah,
five different languages as we walked down one city block. And it was so incredible, and they were so vibrant. And when you think about the energy that we're bringing to the New York City experience. And we didn't want to just call it New York because, yes, New York is big and vast. We could be upstate New York. We wanted to call it New York City experience
city.
because it is a hub. It's where everybody in the world wants to come to. And when we say we're doing an event in New York City, people are like, I've always wanted to be there, right? I've always wanted to go to New York City. Teal, tell us your thoughts and ideas, and I know how you feel about it. Tell
He's
me
from
about New York
Atlanta, by the
City,
way.
brother.
He's from
Tell me
Atlanta.
about New York City. And he's
Yeah,
from
man.
Atlanta right now.
Yeah, New York is amazing. Um, Man, it's the love in the room for me. You already know it's the love. It's you're not going to get that experience anywhere else. If you've been in New York before, when they say the city never sleeps, it's the truth, man. Like it's never going to sleep. You could get all aspects of experience. Um, but being in that room particular, uh, if you're about growing, if you're about real connection, not no fugazi, man, coming up in the room and star-studded and it's all about money and all of that ridiculousness, man, stay home. But if you're trying to grow, if you're trying to, as some say, level up, if you're trying to collaborate, if you're trying to learn something specific within your business that you just don't know, whether you're afraid to say it or not, you just don't know. Being in the room in New York City for the New York City experience is truly the route to go. That's why I'm gonna keep coming back because every time I know I'm gonna learn something new, man, and I'm gonna come home better than before I left. So yeah, bro.
Mm.
That's
Well, I've
right.
got to say something to all of what you guys are saying. First of all, I'm excited and feel blessed to be in the room yet again with Monique McDonald. I mean, I spent some time with you in Jamaica, and I've got to say, your energy is magnetic. You have a heart of gold, and I think I said a voice of gold too. I mean, just no, I said an angelic voice. I mean, everything about you, just your disposition, how you carry yourself and walk in a room is, people know you're there. and I'm excited to be there again with you, and of course all the people who haven't met you. It's going to be great. It's going to be a phenomenal experience overall. But I've got to say, some of the speakers outside of Monique, obviously, that are going to be in the room. I mean, for example, Dr. Martha Razzo. My goodness gracious, she is a powerhouse entrepreneur. I remember when she spoke at our global summit last year, 2024. She lit up the room, and people were like, "Who is this girl who's like just has all this energy?" And she's crushing it in business. Then you got people like Dan Sikowski, Big D, right? I just met him at the Rich Thinking Conference. I mean, that guy crushed the stage. Just a strong personality, grit, powerful backstory, truly inspirational, ultra successful guy. And then we look at people like Nikki Cuesta, right? The CEO of Bomb Global and all of the things that she's doing. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, Nikki is amazing. The fact that she's speaking there, and I can keep going. I mean, there's tons of people that are not only speaking that are going to light up the room, but also the attendees. As I was looking at the lineup of all the people that are signing up to be there, this is going to be Lena. I just met Lena in Rich Thinking Conference as well in PA. My goodness gracious, the lineup is going to be epic. So if you want to learn, you want to grow, you want to build some solid, powerful relationships, I call them power connectors. I cannot tell you how many power connectors are going to be in this room. A power connector is somebody that can open up a door for your business that can lead to 6 figures or more. It is that powerful, because it could be a stage, it could be a potential client, it could be a number of clients, it could be a referral partner, it could be a collaboration, it could be their endorsement, it could be whatever it is that can take your business to a whole nother level. I always say power connectors, you're going to meet somewhere between 1 and 4 per year, either 1 per quarter if you're getting in the right rooms, or 1 per year. But if you get enough power connectors in your field of influence, right, in your circle, sky's the limit. So if you want to get those power connectors, you want to shake those hands and build the right relationships, this is going to be the place to be. I am telling you, I know most of the room, not everybody, which is always a good thing, but I know most of the people in this room, and I have been blown away by many of them, including Lancelot, Tio, and Sifu, of course, outside of Monique.
I got to say, it's so powerful what you just said, Jose, because we would not be doing this right now if I didn't meet you many, many years ago, right? And it was also in a room, a powerful room. We would not be doing this if I did not meet Lancelot, and that was a powerful room as well. Shout out to somebody who's going to be with us is Brandon Godoris. He's going to be with us as well. And then I would never have met Theo, the most incredible Marine I've met in my whole life, besides my brother, right? Who now Theo is my brother, right? But my actual brother was also a Marine, but he actually is still a Marine. I met Theo because Jose said to me at an event that I went to for Born to Risk, the first one, and met so many incredible people. But one of them was Theo, and Jose says to me, "Come, I got to introduce you to somebody who I think is a very powerful connection." And he was absolutely right. But had I not driven, and remember, this was not local to me. I drove like 5 hours to get to this place, right?
That's right.
I got there and it was later at night, right? So I drove 5 hours. I hung out for 7, and then I drove back home. Now,
Sifu, not to interrupt you, but I've got to say, you just said something super powerful. What in the world compels someone to drive 5 hours to get to an event and then spend 7 hours, then drive back another 5 hours? What compels somebody to do something like that? I think I know the answer, but I want to hear it from you.
So here's the thing, right? An invitation from a person who I consider someone I want to spend life with. And that was you, Jose. You and I are going to do life, right? So when we think about when somebody says something to you and they say, "I really want you here," because it's going to make an impact in your life. I got to listen to that. But what drove me to drive 5 hours is I did not know what to expect, but I went on trust. And when I got there, I could have said, I'm just going to hang out for like 2, 3 hours, go back home because it's another 5 hour drive. But the energy is what kept me there. Did I run home? No, I went to another place, right? We hung out. We went to a meeting after the meeting, right, Jose? And then afterwards, you guys are going, you guys actually drove me to my car. And you go, where are you going? I said, I'm going home now. And they're like, but it's 3 a.m. I'm like, and? So, because I didn't book a hotel room, I just knew I needed to be there. So, what drives a person to do something is because when opportunity knocks, you either open the door or you close up. And I'm going to tell you, our brain, our intention, think of it like this: it's a parachute. It only works when it's open.
Mm. Love that.
Oh yes.
I
Good.
I am so inspired by every one of you here in the room. And you're reminding me how important it is to
Yo,
show up. Showing up for your business, showing up at 6 o'clock in the morning when you're like, oh, I just want to sleep some more, going out of your way, driving 5 hours. And showing up with all your heart and all your love and with this open mind. You never know who's in the room. You never know whose life you are going to impact, as well as whose life you are going to be impacted by. And I am here because of the fantastical Jose Escobar. And he made an invitation, and I said yes. And it's only been, I remember it was the day after I got back from Jamaica. We had a conversation. I mean, it was like this because I showed up. And so, everyone within the sound of my voice, remember, show up. You never know what life has for you. And the only thing you have control over is showing up and being in the room.
The only reason we spoke so quickly, Monique, is because of your disposition, right?
Wow.
Your disposition of energy to me was, hey, I'm ready to win. I am looking for what is out there for me. I am ready, right? The time is now. Like, that's the energy that you were exuding. Like, if I didn't feel that, I'm in, like, we got to do some big things. If I didn't feel that energy from you, I would have delayed reaching out to you. I had other people to talk to too, but I said, Monique is ready. Now, whether she's ready for CLA or not, that's a conversation, right? But she is ready to do big things. And I could tell she is like on it, right? So because of that energy, that's why we spoke so quickly. But I'm glad we did, because here we are and we're doing more.
Here we are.
This is just the beginning. But in terms of seafood, something that you said right before Monique chimed in, you mentioned a lot of externals as to what drove you to get there, right? The internal pieces that people don't necessarily pick up on is what really compelled you to go, is the fact that you're a mission-driven person. You are a purpose-driven person. You are a visionary, and you have a big dream. Now, that's all internal. And there's nothing I can tell you that's going to motivate you as much as that, because you are an inspired person. I could motivate you to try to come, and you may or may not come, but if you have the right inspiration, internal drive, and you have a reason for what you're doing, and what your calling is, when you hear that whisper of you need to go, it's because it's your dream on the inside. It's your vision, it's your mission, it's your purpose saying, Seafood, don't miss this opportunity, right? But the problem is when we hear that little voice inside of us telling us you need to go, we tend to hit the mute button,
Mm.
right? We tend to hit the mute button to ourselves because we allow the fear of the unknown and the fear of the financials and the fear of the time and the fear of not knowing how I'm going to get there. Am I going to know anybody? And if I'm kind of introverted and I don't know anybody, am I going to feel comfortable? Maybe I need to find somebody to come with me. And if I can't, then maybe I'll go to the next one when I know more people. Like there's all kinds of this internal dialogue, right? So my whole philosophy, what I tell people is listen to your gut that is telling you, that is inspired, that's telling you need to be there. And then you just get the ticket. And then you reverse engineer the process of what needs to happen.
Oh, yes.
Can I ask anybody, have you ever been alone?
Yes.
I mean,
We all are going to say yes. I know that because guess what? We were born. Well, we came out alone, but we now need, and it's very dynamic for us to want to gravitate to other people because we were meant to be in a tribe. We were meant to be together. There was a time in my life where I never waited for other people to take action ever. And actually, I still don't. But I would go to, I was like, nobody's around. I think I'm going to go have a really great steak dinner. And I would just go to a restaurant and sit by myself and I would sit at a fancy restaurant. It wasn't just a cheap restaurant. It was a fancy restaurant. And people like, oh, how many? I was just one. Like, really? Yep. And I would be there and I would be enjoying my meal and I would see families and so forth. But that never stopped me because I was by myself. My friends were not around. Nobody, somebody couldn't make it. What wound up happening is when we're afraid of going somewhere is because we're afraid of being alone. But you are alone so much of the time. It's about getting out and being with other people. Many years ago, I had a friend of mine and I was single and we were trying to go out to dating things and so forth. And he said, there's an event. He clipped the paper. This is back to the newspaper. He's like, there's an event happening tonight. It's a singles night. And you got to pay like $20 to get into the room, but then there's going to be tons of people there. I'm like, great, I'm in. So it's a Friday night. And I get on the road and it's pouring rain. I mean, it's an hour drive. It is cats and dogs are everywhere, right? I didn't even run over any poodles or anything. So here's the thing, right? I call him and I go, I'm on my way. And you know what he says? I'm not going. Raining too much. It's crazy. I said, are you kidding me? You're the one that got me going. So this is what happened, right? I said, you know what? I'm going to go. I go. I show up. The place is packed. It's here in Glen Cove. Glen Cove in New York City in Long Island is very well known for a lot of celebrities, a lot of high-end people. So I walk into the room and it's packed. And it's packed of women. Hello, I'm there as a single guy. So I find my way and I'm asking for the hostess because I got to pay her my fee. I think it was $18. I remember now. So I go in there and I find her. Oh, here she is, Sandra. So I go, hi, here's my money. And she goes, oh no, I can't take it because we're packed. Can I tell you, this poor woman almost got killed. All the women almost killed her. They're like, he's one of the few men who are in here and you're throwing him away. So she's like, oh, I'm sorry. She goes, okay. So I give her my money and I start talking to people. All of a sudden, there's entertainment that's happening. Now, I don't know if you guys know who the Gypsy Kings are.
Of course.
Okay. And guess it was a small restaurant. There had to be 80 people in the restaurant. There were 3 men. I was one of them. Okay. Now, here's the thing. We all sit down. It's a dinner type of thing. I sit down and it's the Gypsy Kings. They play Oh my God. But here's the crazy thing. On my way there, without knowing that the Gypsy Kings were playing, I threw a CD in my, back then it was CDs, right? I put a CD in my car and I'm listening to the Gypsy King going there in the rain. Talk about mind blowing. Guess what? They come on and they go, does anybody here speak Spanish? I look around, nobody speaks Spanish. I raise my hand and they go, would you mind coming up front? I had to go in the back after they finished playing and interpret for the Gypsy Kings. I got to
What?
meet them. And so what I did is I was talking to them and I said, would you mind signing? I said, I don't have anything that would be worthwhile except I have the CD. I took the CD out of my car. I put a piece of a sticky on it, right? It was actually a label on it, so I stuck it to the CD and they signed it. Now, can I tell you what would have happened if I didn't show up? I would never have had that experience or even have met Gypsy Kings. And this is right before they broke up.
Wow. I love that story.
What a story.
So show up, people. Get in the room.
That's
Get
right.
in the room.
That's right. You know, that's a great story, just in terms of just going by yourself. You know, I've always had believe it or not, an issue coming up, doing things by I just, always liked being with people. And it was until recently when I understand the importance of just going when, even if nobody else is with you. You know, Brandon's event, I went by myself. Last week to Marilyn's event, I drove by myself. And I find, especially when you understand the power of connection and then also you work on connecting, that it's very powerful. It's very liberating to be able to go to some place by yourself and just leave yourself open to meet everyone. So I encourage you, if you have an issue going by yourself, take the plunge. Take the plunge. I understand how you feel because I've never been the one to travel by myself. I know people that do. I find them fascinating. Like seafood, I find fascinating if you're able to travel and do those things. But the more you do it, the more you get better at it. And this particular room, I promise you, if you just get there, you will meet and connect with some of the most dynamic people, and you will thank yourself in the long run for taking that plunge.
Yeah, Dr. Phil, which I'm a fan of. I used to watch him back in the day. A little hidden secret. Nobody knows I used to watch him. But don't say anything, guys. Don't say anything. I hope we're not live. But anyway, Dr. Phil, he always had a statement. He would say, it doesn't matter how flat you make a pancake. It still has two sides, right? So in this case, yes, it is nice to take somebody with you to an event, right? Because you get to enjoy each other's company. You get to build a deeper bond and connection. You get to enjoy experiences together. It's always nice to have company, right? We're not meant to be alone, technically, right? So it's nice. It's nice. But let's look at the other side of the coin, or the other side of the pancake. What tends to happen when you're at an event with someone else? You tend to hang out with that person. Like you're a magnet. Like you guys tend to not leave each other. And you talk to each other the whole time. And then when you're like going and networking time, okay, guys, go and meet people. You guys tend to hang out together. And that tends to be a thing. When it comes time to eat, you tend to grab a seat next to the person you're with. And it becomes this thing. It's like you can't get away from each other because there's comfort there, right? There's this comfort of like, I don't have to go talk to new people as much as I would like to. Well, because I don't want to keep my company, by themselves. I don't want. It's almost like we use each other as an excuse to stay comfortable, right? And that's what happens. And then we end up not meeting the people who we should be meeting, and that power connector that you should have met never shook your hand, and you never had a conversation because you were spending too much time with the person you're with that you already know. So nothing wrong with that per se, but again, last time I checked, getting in the room usually means work the room. And work the room usually means meet people. And meet people usually means you got to be outside of your comfort zone. So there are pros and cons to everything, my friends.
Yes, yes. So the object of that story is go by yourself. You know, right? Go by yourself. That because I didn't even think of it like that. That's right though. But you tend to stay in your comfort zone. You wind up staying with the person you already know, as opposed to getting out there and meeting new people. So that's a great story.
Yeah, when you think about showing up, it's to be honest with you, when Jose invited me, and Jose invites me to a lot of things. And thank you, Jose. I appreciate you, brother. He actually just invited me to another event, November 6th, and I'm trying to see if I can get there because Big D's having an event, right?
I'm going just because of this conversation.
I'll be there.
Yay!
I have my tickets, so that's the room you want to be in. It's going to be in Jersey, so I'll be there too.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be far, but I'm going because just because of this conversation, for real,
Yeah.
because it's opened my eyes.
Yeah, and Jose's having an event on November 15th with Brandon Godoris, and Jose's like, "You got to be in the room." I'm like, well, I don't know if he goes, "You got to be in the room." I'm like, "I'm going to be in the room," so I'm going to be there. I've already got my hotel room and everything, right?
I just told Sifu privately, don't announce it, Sifu, because it's not public information yet. But I just told him about something happening on November 29th, and I said, "You got to come." He's like, "I'm there." So that's another thing that's going on. So
Jose's taking over my calendar, people. But you know who else has to be there? Coach Tio. I got to tell you, this man is such a powerful human being that his presence alone is just energy. And I got to tell you somebody else that to me, this is extremely funny because when I met Coach Tio, I spoke about somebody else. And he's like, "What?" I spoke. Who did I speak about? You recall.
Oh
Dr.
yeah,
Alvin T. Reed.
Dr. Alva T. Reed. Yeah.
So I said, you know, I didn't know what to make of him and so forth. And so he's like, "Oh, tell me more." And I said, "Man, I just love the man." And he's like, "Oh, okay, you're all right then." Because he thought I was going to say something negative. You know, one of the things that you have to understand in life that the world outside is very tumultuous. The world inside doesn't have to be. So when you speak, we should never speak ill of anyone, no matter what, right? Even if they've done you wrong.
Yeah, that's
I
biblical.
I've never and Jose, you know my son Marco, I'm always saying nice things about his mom. I have never in front of him said anything negative about her. And we went through a tough divorce. But I never, and my son has never, ever, ever heard me say one negative thing. If anything, I put his mom up and I'm like, "Your mom was great. Your mom is this, your mom is that." I've never said anything that would make him think, "Oh, my dad doesn't like my mom." If anything, he knows I loved his mom. And when we are in the world, when we're in a room, there's already too many people talking negativity. Let us not be that person. So remember this, when the world outside is hurtful, let the world inside of you be at peace, be calm, and be energetic, and be loving.
Wise
Amen.
words.
Amen.
Wise words, because you never know who's listening.
Mm.
That has been my experience. I've been in some rooms, people. I've been in some rooms where I had no idea who was in the room. And I showed up as me, and this is how I choose to live my life. Sifu, I mean, you've said it so beautifully. We are here to increase the lives of people. We are here to make people feel like winners, to feel like they are the best. Because why? Because if that's what we're focusing on, that's what life is going to give us. There's no room for anything else if that's what you're focused on. And there have been times when I was at an event and it wasn't until the person I remember I was singing. It was a private party in New York City in this beautiful penthouse apartment. And it was just supposed to be industry people. And I did my thing, I showed up and I did what I do. And everyone came to congratulate me after the performance. And I was so pleased, not only that I had done a good job, because that's my job, but there's also representing myself, if you know what I mean, so that I was the best I could be in that moment. And so I was really happy. And then it was like the people parted, the way parted, and this very slight man. What I noticed was his stature. He appeared small. And he came up to me. And as he got closer, I realized it was the great Mikhail Baryshnikov, one of the greatest dancers of our time.
Yes.
And I went like this. And he said, and he just hugged me and he never said a word. And it taught me so much. The people that are high end or important, you don't know that they are because they don't have to demonstrate anything. They just show up. So watch your words. Be there to cause increase because you never know who's listening.
It's good.
Very nice. Very nice.
Can we
You never know who's listening.
can we acknowledge that there are so many people in the world who are not seen,
Yes.
right? Because sometimes we don't have eyes for them. We only are looking for that star in the crowd, but we're missing the person who's in front of us. We're missing the people behind us, missing people to the left and the right. And Theo can tell you about how important the person on your left and your right are as a Marine. I can't say that for him. He has to say it for himself. But also, I want to ask, because I'm getting some people who are saying to me, if I can't be a speaker at your event, because we're now closed out, we'd have no more space for speakers, I'm not coming. And that is such an incredible mistake. Jose, you've spoken to me about this so many times. Would you mind sharing? And anybody else who wants to share? If you're not on the stage, why is it important for you to still show up?
I will say it very bluntly and very simply, right? And I say it with the highest level of respect to anybody. And I would say this to anybody. Like literally, I would say this to anybody. And I have said it to many people, right? And I've said it publicly. So I will say it again. And I don't mince my words. So, I say what I mean and mean what I say. And what you see is what you get. I'm a straight shooter, right? But I always deliver my message respectfully. But I would say in the most direct, blunt way possible that if somebody tells me I'm not coming to your event unless I speak, then they just won't be invited again. It's just that simple. They just won't be invited to future events that I put on simply because of the philosophy that you have to be willing. Like I'm looking for leaders and entrepreneurs that have that disposition to have a desire to learn and grow and to serve. And it doesn't always mean that you learn, grow, and serve from the stage, because if you're saying things, then you're just saying what you already know, you're not learning. So usually somebody who says, I am only going to come if I'm speaking, is because the only thing that they care about is profit, is the visuals for themselves, and is the recognition and all the wonderful things that come with speaking. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with having a desire to speak. It's important, and we all want to speak if we're speakers. That's okay. But I can tell you, I have gone to so many events, countless events, and I will continue to go to the events, whether I'm speaking or not, ultimately because I understand that I haven't arrived. And I understand there's still more learning, more growing to do. There is ways to serve without being on the stage. And there are people that you need to meet in the room that don't require you to shake their hand from the stage. Last I checked, you don't shake hands from the stage. You shake hands in the midst of the crowd, in the mozone, what I call it, the momentum, right? The momentum zone is where you shake the hands and do all the things. Now, granted, yes, do you have more weight when you shake the hands when they literally saw you on the stage? Sure, it makes a difference. But at the end of the day, that little difference is not going to make or break anything. So I always tell people, you have to have the mentality of a lifelong learner, of a white belt at all times, and say, whether I'm or not, I'm going to show up. Because sometimes you speak, sometimes you don't, but you always win in any direction that you're in, right? So that's really what it comes down to. So I myself, and I don't just say this and then not do what I'm preaching, right? You can ask many people. I go to events all the time that I'm not speaking at. And some of the stages I would love to have been on, or whatever the case is, and it just doesn't work out sometimes, and that's okay. But you have to be willing to show up, because you're going to attract who you are, not what you want, right? So when I put on events, the people I'm attracting are people that of who I am, right? So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not going to go to your event unless I speak, and then I'm going to tell people otherwise and try to like say the opposite message, right? So it's just, for me, it's just it's a humility thing. It's a understanding of the bigger picture thing. And it's just knowing that there's more to events than speaking, right? Going to an event to speak is one aspect of the event, but collectively, if you were to look at the networking, the learning, the growing, the opportunity to serve, all the things, and you compare that to going to the event to speak, that outweighs the speaker position any day of the week, as far as I'm concerned. So that's where I'm at with it.
Excellent.
I remember going to go see some concerts, and I wasn't on the stage. Monique, you've been on some of the top stages in the world, but I'm sure you've been in the crowd watching somebody on stage as well. Talk to us about one of the performances that you said, wow, would I have been blessed to be on that stage, but I was not asked to be on the stage, but you still showed up for somebody else who was on that stage?
Well, I do it all the time for my colleagues. In fact, the reason why I went to Jamaica and I got to meet Jose was because I was there supporting one of my colleagues that was speaking. I wasn't, I wasn't there to speak. I was the plus one. And look what it's brought me. You never know. And I've had the great fortune to be able to be in the room and hear some of my heroes perform. And, when I run master classes for singers and speakers, some of the feedback I always get is I didn't learn as much when I was speaking or singing as when I was watching you work with a speaker or a singer. When we are in performance mode, it can be a one-way street. And when we're just here being in the room, it's a conversation.
As an artist, I find and the acting part of the art is you learn more watching other people while they're performing. In class, when yeah, you know, so a lot of people, if I can't participate in class, then I'm not going to do the class. But you learn so much watching others perform and watching others take notes. So it's very important sometimes to just be that person that's not out there on the stage, but out there learning, watching other people perform, which is just so important for growth. So I'm complete agreement with you.
I'm gonna play this video, and I want Tio brother to come on and I know you're taking notes
Oh,
because
that's
I'm watching you. I'm
amazing.
watching.
I
Can I
love
tell you
that.
this guy is so inspirational to me, and I dearly love him, and he knows how we feel about each other. But I want to get your take on this. So take a look, everybody, because I played it in the beginning, but I think we
Oh
need to
yeah,
play it
yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event, it's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds, a movement of momentum. Seafood Rafael, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC experience. Mastermind, light up the city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC experience, mastermind, where purpose is found.
Yeah.
I love
Oh,
it every time.
yeah. It's dope, man. I I I love the way he says Jose's name. You know what I'm saying? Jose
Let's go.
Escobar. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you can
yeah.
feel that, you know. It's dope, man. I mean, you already know hip hop started in why. You know, Meninge, just all flavors is New York City, man, and it permeates out to the world. Uh, I mean, there's other spots here. Atlanta has their sound. LA has their sound. DC Go Go. So, you all was just down in Jamaica, but man, nah, that's the vibe, man, and you could feel it, man. And I'm just excited. If you've never been to NY during, you know, wintertime, man, like some of the most beautiful sights you'll see, man. Macy's, the large Christmas trees throughout the city. And I'm excited about Farmingdale, man, to get out that way, man. See a little, different vibe too. Um, but man, Jose was talking earlier, and I wrote it, man. Put it in the chat. You're going to attract who you are, not just what you want.
Yes.
Man, that's powerful, bro. And when we wake up in the morning, I mean, you look at my brother Lancelot. He's super clean right now, 6 a.m. Always fresh, man. You the freshest. You other than Dapper Dan, it's you, bro. Like you and Dapper Dan, you're there. You got to meet that cat, man. If you haven't already. Um, but this shirt, man. When I woke up this morning, I think about what I'm gonna put on, obviously. And this shirt I have on, I don't know if
Mm.
you can see it, but it
In
says under.
Miami,
Yeah,
I got that shirt with
yeah,
you.
under construction, and you could see the under is crazy and twisted around upside down. But man, I had the blessing of being with Dr. Oliver T. Reed this weekend,
Mm,
and we were at an event here in Atlanta called Healing While Building. Healing While Building. And it
mm,
was 98% ladies in the room, entrepreneurs, and man, just to be in that space and to realize as men, how far we have to go. Uh, because I sat on the panel and some of the questions they were firing, well, I was like, Lord Jesus. Ooh, but it was really good because the connection of both the masculinity and the femininity being in the same room was special, bro. And NYC, you get that. You know, as you can see on the video, so many great people. So please get in the room, man. Like I get angry sometimes. The Marine in me says, man, come on, bro. Just get in the room. Like for once, do something for yourself, man. You know, as a leadership coach, that's what I do, man. I try to inspire, try to help lead you. You know, I gotta lead myself. And if I'm telling you, well, I do it, I go get in a room, I spend money, I invest in myself, I need you to do that as well. And if you one of them people out there that feel like, oh, I'm only gonna come if I speak, you know, to veggie back on my man Jose, bro. I that's lame right there. We're going into 2026. That's lame, man. People out here hurting. You know what I'm saying? Like people
Mm.
need, you know, realism. People need to learn and grow collectively together because there's so many different levels. Everybody's not on the same level. But man, stay from around me, man, if you that type person. Because trust me, man, like you could chase stages all day. You know,
Right.
like Jose said, it's just about the bread to you. It's going to show. You'll be in the room leaking. Everybody else in that room will be able to see, man, that dude's only about money, bro. You know, Jose Escobar's a multi-millionaire. You'll never know it, how he carries himself. So again, man, I thank you all, man, for every opportunity to come to NY, bro. Like I'm not trying to foam it all at the mouth right now because I know it's safe for time, but man, it really upsets me because you see it. We've all been to thousands of events, and you really do see it. You always see that person in the room leaking, smelly, because they only care about themselves. And that's not what we're about, man. From CLA to light bulb lessons to uh, AMA, shout out to Emilio, everybody we know, you know, Scott Schilling, Dave Hurley, man, we're about pouring into others, man. So if you come around this, you're gonna feel that infectious vibe, and it's real. So if you want to discuss it, we can have a virtual call, and I'll tell you why chasing stages is not what we on today. So thank you, Sifu. I appreciate you, bro.
Just to
Mhm.
piggyback off what Tio just said, powerful stuff, Tio. Absolutely love your
Yeah, man.
wisdom and how you come across because we're cut from a similar cloth. But I can just say
Yes.
that there's nothing wrong with wanting, desiring to be on the stage. It's when
Right,
you put
right.
the ultimatum that I'm not coming unless I do that. That's where the
Yeah,
line is, right? Because that's not what we're about, right? It's about
that's
serving
right.
first. It's about impacting. It's about learning, growing, and then it's the other things that happen as a default to those desires, right?
Yeah.
So, on a second note, I will say I have run into so many business owners and entrepreneurs, many at different levels, different stages,
Mhm.
that say, and I have found that usually it's the ones that are still on the journey in the very beginning of their journey of entrepreneurship that fall in this category, usually. And it is, I can't afford to go to this event. I don't have the I just like right now I would go if I had the money. I just don't, right. It usually comes back to money. Then there's time, and then there's like, pre-booked already with something else. There's other reasons, right? But one of the biggest things that stops people from going to events like this is the investment, the financial investment. So, but these very same business owners are quick to go to sporting events live, are quick to go to high-end restaurants and wine and dine
True,
and
man.
drop $500 at a nightclub, getting some kind of a booth of some kind. They will, invest in all kinds of exciting things when it comes to entertainment and joy and passing good times. And some of those things are nice. Like you might go on a family vacation to the beach for a week, stuff like that. There's some nice things and there's some things like really like, but at the end of the day, it's like, where is your priority? How bad do you want it? If you really want it in business, you cannot treat your business like a hobby. You have to be willing to invest in it. You have to be willing to invest in yourself. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable and to do the hard things. And over time, those decisions compound, both positive and negative. If you're not doing the right things, that's going to show up one day in like, oh my gosh, I'm spinning my wheels. I'm struggling in my business. if you're doing the right decisions, getting in the right rooms, meeting the right people, investing in you and your business, that too will compound over time. And then you're going to look back 6 months later and say, oh my gosh, look how far I've come. So it's up to you. It's really up to you. But again, the theme of the day, get in the room, folks.
Yes.
I'm gonna say one thing, Jose. Get out of my head. I was thinking the same exact thing. You can get in the room, but get out of my head, Jose. What's going on? I was going to talk about exactly the same thing. So many people spend tons of money doing things that only give you momentary satisfaction. Something that does not elevate you or your being or even your family. Everybody's like, oh, family first. I agree. I'm 1,000% about family first, right? Nothing will stand in the way of me being there for my family. But when people say, oh, I can't afford it, I can't do this, I can't do that, and then they go spend all this money going to Disneyland and all that, I get that, because you want to be there for your family. But could you take your family on a bigger vacation if you participated in something that will elevate your business? Guess what? The New York City experience is not just entertainment, even though it sounds and it is going to be, but it is about the connections that can elevate your business. I'm going to say it out loud, and now it's going to become truly real. Coach Tio and I were talking about a business opportunity that I've been thinking about, and we're going to make it happen, right, Tio? So we are going to make and that would never have happened if we did not have a conversation at a rooftop. And then we took it to a meeting after a meeting at another place, and then we had it again, and so we've had a conversation about a business opportunity that it's about trust. I didn't know Tio a couple of years ago, but because of the introduction, because I showed up to that place in Philly, right? It was for the After the Born Risk event. I was not at the Born to Risk, the first one. I went to the after party. And then what wound up happening is that I met him. And then I met him again. And when I went by myself to Florida for the under construction with Dr. Oliver T. Reed, and it was an incredible event, right? And there was also a storm that was brewing in Miami, but we didn't care. We were still there. We all participated. We made greater connections. This is when I picked up this book. And this book, right?
That's right.
That
That's
really, and guess what? He signed it. What? and I got to be honest with you. He had a table there, and I knew him a little bit, but here's what I said. I know he would have given me the book, and I said, no.
I tried to. You said no.
I
Yes.
said, no, let me support you, right?
That's right.
Let
That's
me
right.
support you, because I didn't see a lot of sales going on over there. So, and nobody was really buying stuff. Everybody was there, but didn't realize that sometimes as a vendor, the reason you have a table is to make some money, right? So we have vendor tables at our event. We also have sponsorship available at our event. Now, let me share with you somebody who said yes to sponsorship, who said, I understand what New York City's experience is all about. And Monique stepped up. She is our Liberty sponsor, which means that she understood the value of what we're bringing forward. So if you want to be a sponsor, if you want to get a table, we're going to make sure that you're seen, heard, and even we're going to push some people towards your table because we are not allowing anybody just come off and sell junk, right? Everything that is going to be at our event has been curated because we only want the best. Every experience, and Tio, you can say this, Jose and Lancelot, every experience just has leveled up and up and up and up, right? The next experience is going to be in Tampa. After that, we're going to be in Ireland. So Tampa is going to be February 28th through March 1st. Ireland is going to be April 23rd through the 26th. So I saw that Tio is already saying, "Yep, I'm going to Tampa." I saw him write it down, right? We need Monique in Tampa. We are going to be, because our good brother Paul McFadden is going to be hosting in Tampa. He's setting things up. He's going to make things happen. He's got he just moved there, but he's getting out there. He's getting in rooms because he's making connections, and we're going to make everything better every single time. So we don't want you to just come to one event. We want you to become an alumni. We want you to level up every
Very
time.
quickly,
Go ahead, Jose. Go ahead. I see you, brother.
I feel I have to say this because, first of all, events like these are not possible at the level and the magnitude of what we put on without the right sponsor stepping up to say, hey, I want to endorse this thing. I want to back it. So, Monique, we truly, truly honor you for being at Liberty sponsoring. That's amazing, the fact that you stepped up the way you did. And just to honor you while we're here, very quickly, and we are over time, but just, very quickly, if you don't mind, just kind of tell the world, who is Monique McDonald, and tell us about your business as a Liberty sponsor for this event in December.
Wow. Well, I am learning and growing my business. I was the product being sold, right, as the opera singer. And so now I am helping speakers find their voice of power so that their message is always heard. We are living in a world where we need heart-centered speakers to take back the mic, people. And so that is my mission, that is my vision, to help empower those voices that need help to be heard. And what I'm learning at this stage of my business is having skin in the game. Having skin in the game. When you see this kind of organization with these kinds of people in the room, get skin in the game, people, because you can feel it. And I am so honored to be part of this group and to promote it and to tell everybody within the sound of my voice, come to New York. We are going to have a blast. So, yes, I know that I don't talk about it, but yes, I'm a Grammy nominated, award winning opera singer, and I've sung all over the world. And I don't talk about it because I'm not proud of it. I just don't talk about it much. I'm doing other things now, but I have reclaimed my own voice this year. And Jamaica, where I met Jose, was one of those big moments for me of reclaiming my voice. And so I am here to do that. And I want to invite everyone to do that. We need your voice here and now. And I can't wait to see you at the New York experience, baby.
Amen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. When you step into your own power, it becomes not about you anymore. And this is why I love every speaker who's going to be with us. Because to be honest with you, if there was a speaker who's like, I'm the best, I'm the this, I'm like, oh, great. Thank you. Come be a guest. We want, we're very fortunate that so many speakers answered the call to be a speaker. And now those slots are all full. I have I have actually like 5 people who actually want to come to speak, and they said this to me. If I can't speak, I don't want to hear it. So this is the word I'm saying to them. We'll miss you. But there are other opportunities. If you can't speak at this one, at least show up and know what the room's about, because we're going to have speaker opportunities in Tampa. Guess what? You can become an international speaker if you come to Ireland, because Ireland is going to have speaker opportunities too. There's masterminds and all these kind of fun things that we're doing. But let's get in the room. So the call now is for people to come and meet our incredible speakers in person. We're not having anybody who's just coming to speak and then leaving. All the speakers are going to be in the room, that you can shake their hands, get to know them, get to socialize with them, because that's what the New York City experience is all about. I personally don't ever want a speaker who thinks they're too high and mighty to be in the room after they speak. We don't want them. We love you. Be you is all I say. Be you. Jose, what do you got to say, brother? I know we're taking over time, but
I gotta go soon.
Very, very quick. I think what's needed to have been said has been said, and at this point, we put the ball in your court. For those of you who are watching live or catching the replay, if you don't have a ticket yet, get yourself in the room, get your ticket. It's a very nominal fee, nothing expensive, and it's in New York City. So take the train, drive there, fly, whatever you got to do to get there. If you need to be creative and resourceful, figure it out, right? I always say winners find a way to win. So now is the time. This is the battle cry, and the time for you to say, you know what, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get myself in the room. We want to see you there December 6th and 7th in New York City. It's going to be epic. Just watch as we continue to build this thing forward, and it's just going to get more exciting. So we look forward to seeing you there. Again, thank you, Monique McDonald, for stepping up as a Liberty sponsor. And of course, Sifu and Lancelot, just blessed to be doing this with you guys. And it's going to be exciting. So we'll see you there, folks.
All right.
God bless everybody. Enjoy.
God bless. Take care, guys. Bye, Monique.
Bye.
The city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event. It's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds. A movement of momentum. Sifu Rafael, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC experience. Mastermind, light up the city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC